After spending a day and a half at Loch Ness and Fort Augustus, I continue my journey north to John O'Groats. Having left St. Andrews and gone into Dundee, I made my way to the A9 up through Cairngorms National Park to Loch Ness. After seeing Loch Ness, I decided to take a back way. I wanted to see more of the countryside in the Scottish Highlands before getting back to the A9. I was feeling very energetic and in very high spirits, as I felt myself getting closer of reaching my goal of going end to end, traveling across the whole of the British mainland. The A9 North is the main road that takes you through the Scottish Highlands into Caithness. Although it is a main road, it never feels like a major highway and always has the feel of a secluded country drive. The very smooth, winding drive on the A9 takes you through mountains, wetlands, many picture book Highland villages, and north of Inverness, it turns into a coastal drive, following the Scottish coastline overlooking the North Sea. The most difficult part of this drive is definitely completing it. With landscape this dramatic, I spent more time outside the car taking in the scenery than I did driving. And again, for almost the whole drive, I was chasing a rainbow north to reach my goal. Finally, I've reached Caithness, my destination county. I can feel myself get more and more excited as I drive further north. And the scenery around me just gets better and better. It is either lightly raining, or you can see a rainbow and sunshine. The further you drive east into Caithness, the flatter the landscape seems to get, and more farmland pops up. The pressure is on a little bit. I'm trying to make John O'Groats before the sun goes down, and I'm getting really close to not making that goal. I am driving faster than I should be, I know. And I'm also driving past things I would really like to see. But the one change being in this part of the trip is that all these things I will drive back through on my way back. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've looked at this area on Google Maps or Google Earth and thought about going here. But right now, there is only one thing on my mind, and that's reaching John O'Groats and the coastline before the sun sets, and I can enjoy it in the light of day. After landing in London, driving to Dover, to Wiltshire, to Cornwall, to Land's End, to the Cotswolds and Wales, up through Yorkshire, into Scotland, all the way up the A9, at last I have finally arrived at my destination of John O'Groats. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I feel being here. Now, the reason we should travel is the journey and not the destination. And this has been a great trip, and it's not over yet. But meeting my goal, driving by yourself under your own steam to a destination you thought of for years, and actually standing there, feeling the wind of the sea in your face, is something undescribable. And the most rewarding part in the end. Being a boy from the Appalachian Mountains of Pennsylvania, I've never felt wind quite like this. But I stayed out in it all the same and enjoyed the violent seaside until dark. Eventually, the rain became painful in the high winds, and I took refuge in the Seaview Hotel and enjoyed some haggis over chicken with a side of chips. And I'll say it again, I love this stuff. I chased it down with about 10 glasses of this and about 5 shots of some Scottish whiskey that I don't remember. But after a good meal and a good drinking session with the local people, I was done for, and I had a great sleep, despite the raging storm. When I woke up the next morning, the weather had turned back to perfect, and it was time for me to go explore the surrounding areas and see a place I've been wanting to see for a long time. Now, the story of why I wanted to come to Caithness and see certain things for a long time starts right here with this stuff. The flagstone fences. I did a lot of driving around and stopping to admire the farmland in Caithness. There is so much of it, and the pastures are some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Full of sheep and cows, and always bordered in stackstone or Caithness flagstone. Now, my journey to taking an interest in Caithness flagstone goes back quite a bit. In the early days, when YouTube was still a new thing, my brother came across a video called Waltzing the Stones in Caithness, an old BBC piece. It's an older video, but I'll link it in the description below, and I really hope you take the time to check it out. My brother being a proud and talented quarryman, and me having some experience in the field myself, we took a great interest in how it was done in other parts of the world. But in the end, it was that Waltzing the Stones video my brother found that brought me right here, to the place itself. Caithness Flagstone Limited. When I arrived and told them my story about why I wanted to come here, they were very, very interested, and the foreman of the quarry himself decided to give me a personal tour of the place. The place had really grown and changed a lot since the days the Waltzing the Stone video was made, and it had become very impressive.
That's what we call a drag. I mean, that'll not split.
Yeah.
But when you get your worktop, get all polished up, and then you see that, that's when you start.
You just wasted your time, yeah. These guys working here are real grafters and very hard-working dudes. They create some very unique and amazing things with a combination of skill, simple tools, and high-tech machining tools. The foreman who showed me around was a true master of his trade. He was as friendly as could be and gave me quite an education on how things are done in his quarry. It was very fun chatting with him and comparing the methods of Pennsylvania bluestone and Caithness stone. So many people pass right by here on their way to John O'Groats. If you will take some advice from me, stop here. They sell many items small enough to fit in any bag, and you can bring a very well-crafted actual piece of Scotland home with you. If you are using Google Maps to get to John O'Groats, Caithness Flagstone Quarry is right on there and very easy to find. I would like to thank the good people at Caithness Flagstone for showing me such hospitality and for giving me a great education. The only thing that could have made this experience any better was if my brother was there with me. The guys at the quarry recommended that I visit this place before I leave. The Flagstone Museum and Flagstone Trail. Sadly, the museum was closed when I arrived, but I was still able to have a nice walk around the place and check out all the things they had on display. You have to understand about Caithness is that flagstone is a gigantic part of its history and used to employ most of the people in some areas. Caithness flagstone went through a very depressed period and many people lost their jobs and left the area. But now it is picking back up, and places like Caithness flagstone ship their stone products worldwide. I leave the Flagstone Trail with a heavy heart, as I have to say farewell to this great country soon. I really have seen so much in just a few short weeks, but that time is coming to an end, and it's time for me to leave Caithness and head back south. Counting the day I'm filming this, my flight departs from London back to JFK in 4 short days, and I'm still 700 miles away from Heathrow. So if I want to have a good full day to explore the capital city, my time sightseeing is over, and I really have to get moving. I drive continuously without stopping. I'm feeling a sort of sad anticipation. I did what I set out to do, enjoying each mile and each stop. But on this whole drive, I am thinking of the people I love back home, and how sweet it will be to see their faces. And I can't wait to give them the gifts that I picked up for them along the way. This drive takes me all the way back near Edinburgh, where I find a lay-by and sleep in the car. Nearing the end of the journey, I never sleep very well. After a few short hours of sleep, the sun was up, and so was I. So I put the Insomniac to good use and drove clear back to London. next stop and last video in the UK is the capital city of London. Thanks for watching.